Welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk a little bit about hydration. This is not my first time trying to get to a bodybuilding stage. This is actually my 5th coach that I've worked with. I think the first coach I hired was back in 2016, and then I worked with a series of 3 or 4 other coaches over the last few years, and each time what derailed me in the process was injuries and pain. In particular, glute tendonitis and hamstring tendonitis. And I used to be a runner. I did half marathons for a few years, and I had chronic knee and hip pain, which then was diagnosed as glute tendonitis and hamstring tendonitis, which is why I stopped running. And what I found was that each time I would get into a program with a coach, after something like 4 to 6 months, I also had a shoulder injury, but that the injury or the pain would derail my progress. I would get demotivated and give up on the process. Or I found I wasn't losing body fat consistently, or I was just struggling. And each time I just decided, okay, I'm going to stop. I also think there wasn't the best symbiosis with some of the coaches that I'd hired in the past. The coach that I'm working with currently, I've been working with for 5 weeks. And the first thing she had me start on, even before I switched around my nutrition and my training, was her hydration protocol, which honestly has been kind of life-changing. I think that I feel better than I ever have in terms of my hip and my leg that were always problematic with training. My recovery from my leg days used to take 5 whole days, so I could only train legs once a week. Now I'm recovered in 2 days, so I can do that second day of leg training and glute training, which has been tremendous. And I tried everything else for recovery and nothing really helped me, but this hydration protocol has been absolutely life-changing. So I'll just show you kind of my routine, how I start every day, and I sip on this throughout the entire day. So I use this big old jug. It goes up to, It goes up to 116 ounces. I fill it to 97 ounces. So I drink 3 liters a day. So that's second marking on it. And basically I have a whole house water filter. So I think the quality of the water is step 1, either using spring water or using a really high quality water filter, which we have. We only recently got it, and it is huge difference in taste and quality of water. It's not just a carbon filter, which is what we used to have. So it's a really good brand of water filter. So that's 1. Step 2, and this is the missing piece for me, because for many years I did carnivore, I did keto diets where they're all about electrolytes, and I was buying all the commercial electrolytes, LMNT and all the other brands, and never had this effect. So making it myself, first of all, is a lot cheaper. Second of all, the ratios, my coach tells me what ratio I should be using of electrolytes, and she's already changed it once in working with her. But what I currently do, and I don't recommend starting with this ratio because she started me lower, is I use 2 teaspoons of this new salt, which is a potassium chloride. I use 2 teaspoons for every 64 ounces, so I put 3 teaspoons in my 97 ounces that I make in the morning. And then I do half of that in sea salt, and you can use any type of sea salt. I use this Celtic sea salt, so 1.5 teaspoons into my 97 ounces. And that's the magic formula for me. I just think what I was missing was that amount of potassium, because what I learned from my coach is that without the potassium, the sodium can't get into your cells, and so you're not properly hydrating. And I did notice many times I had my blood work done, I was dehydrated, even though I was drinking a gallon of water a day. So this has really changed that for me. I just feel much better, and I think it's an anti-aging secret too, because I think a lot of aging is dehydration. So I'm sticking with this. So again, it was 3 teaspoons of this new salt, which is the potassium chloride, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and then I also add a whole lemon. I add glutamine powder. This is a fermented type of glutamine, but you can use any type of glutamine powder. And I use that because I've had chronic IBS issues, which thankfully right now I do not have at all, but for many years I did, and it does help your gut lining. It's also good for sugar cravings, L-glutamine powder. A lot of people use it for that. So I add in a serving of L-glutamine, which I think is 5 milligrams. And then I also add Mio lemonade just for flavor because it can be, that salty taste can be hard to get used to. So that's my hydration protocol. I sip on this the whole day. I never drink plain water anymore. So the only other thing I may have is a diet soda at lunchtime and a decaf coffee in the morning. I don't do any caffeine. So other than that, it's just I drink this whole thing throughout the day. And that's my hydration routine. I hope it helps you. If you've had any chronic itises, I have bursitis in my hips, which my physical therapist thinks is what brought on the glute and hamstring tendonitis. This has helped with all of that almost magically in the last 5 weeks, and he's been working on me with needling and all kinds of techniques, and this has just been transformative in terms of not having pain, being able to train at full intensity, full capacity for legs. So if you've had the aches and pains and you've been suffering with all the itises, I think this hydration is really key, so I hope it helps you.